So, good afternoon everyone. We're live from Laguna Seca, Trackstars Touring Cars action. We ride currently on board with Deadpool as we're just a few minutes away from qualifying. So it's already time to consider the track guide. They've already made it through the first sector. Andretti hairpin the first proper turn, of course. Now heading uphill, gone through the U-sequence of bends that was added 30 years ago, through the flick onto the Rahal straight, which is so tricky to get right. Deadpool right on the edge there, into the corkscrew. Of course, we all know this corner. Drop several stories, try not to pick the wheels up too much in terms of sliding. Rainy curve is next. There you go, penultimate corner, the last fast turn on the lap. Plenty of camber for you to get some speed on. The last corner, this tricky little 90-degree left ends the lap. Across the line, all being well, you should be somewhere in the 111s, and that's where Deadpool is as a rule. This Andretti hairpin, you can now see he's running a bit deep there, but not so much that he won't salvage it. That corner, double apex hairpin, effectively quite an important part of the circuit underneath the Cooper Tyres bridge. Back at the point in which we started, that right-hander that we just went through, one of the trickier corners to get right on the lap as well. A wheel on the dirt can really be costly there. I've just spotted that we're running to miles an hour rather than kilometres. My apologies. I'll change that to kilometres an hour, and then we'll be ready for streaming. Oh, Benjo, I have seen the roof of the GLR cars. I'm not quite sure how I can show it on stream. Hopefully we get a clear vantage point. But yes, there's a special surprise for me specifically on the roof of the pit lane of the It's Racing Esports Hondas, which, if we get a decent vantage point of it, we will explain in some detail. Ghosted at the moment, so he's either had a moment or he's having a bit of fun with it. I think it might have been the latter. There you see the pit lane here at Laguna, of course, American style pit lane. They jump over the wall over in America rather than come out of the garages. And one of the longer pit lanes in terms of time loss on Gran Turismo Sport. Now that shouldn't be an issue here today because we're running a sprint race format, 3 races of 14 laps apiece. Just realised my car's there. It's ticked in. Don't want to be ticked in. Nice. As we get ready for qualifying, and as qualifying begins as well, while they're on their outlaps, we'll talk to you. Gosh, that was an amount of lag, wasn't it? We'll talk to you a little bit about the championship order coming into this one. Current points are as follows. It's Racing who leads the championship points on 664 for It's Racing Esports. N-Spud in second place on 654. Third place, 617 points for this man Puntz, who will be looking to have a better time than he had last week here at Laguna Seca in the Trackstars, or Formula Trackstars, I should say, in the Super Formula cars. He had a very good run right up until he didn't, unfortunately. He ended up with a late race safety car hindering his progress in the latter stages. And unfortunately, his race did not go to plan in the slightest after the safety car. He did salvage a decent result from the event. Certainly he'll be seething and ready for a better performance at Laguna this weekend. Deadpool on 613 points at the moment, in spite of missing a few races here or there. The British driver in 4th, EBM Brandosa, 34 on 608 points in 5th, alongside disappointed DJ SX pointed, if you will, on 600 points. We see his teammate Gabans, his new teammate, on the screen at the moment. Of course, Gabans we last saw in the Touring Car Series in It's Racing Esports Honda. However, he is now moved over to the Pit Lane Esports team. We'll see how he fares at the wheel of that car. Of course, he's replacing HSV Whitson and, I suppose to an extent, Jaxie as well, who have both been in the second PLE seat so far this year. Wood is in 7th place, the ultimate super sub, who has probably done more racing for CP than Papa AT, who was the actual driver of the car. So Papa taking the seat back. He currently sits 10th in the standings on 386 points, but he was away for quite a while. Wood had some great performances in the time he had the seat. We'll see whether or not another team tries to snap up the services before the start of next season as a full-time driver. Certainly makes sense. Thank you to everyone saying hello in the chat. Good evening to all of you from here in what is still just about the morning in the UK. Of course, with the slightly later starting times we have now, it's kind of late morning now. It's less of an early wake-up call. Mountain Goat side by side with Brandosa lands its only quali. It's not even quali yet, it's practice, but qualifying is coming. See some qualifying action. Let's see who has the quick laps. That's the returning Farrell, yes. Haven't seen too much of him, really. Farrell is back. So Farrell, the Indonesian driver, who's been replaced quite a lot by the likes of Little Blacko, is finally back in his seat. Of course, we've seen him have some very good performances, so it is good to see him back. It's our championship leader leading them away as we get qualifying started. It's Racing at the helm of the It's Racing Esports NSX. Consistent season than most of the other NSX drivers. He hasn't always been as consistently at the sharp end. Now here at Laguna, last I saw of him driving here in a practice lobby, he wasn't quite up to speed. And the fact that he offered me his seat earlier today makes me wonder if that's still not much better. So 8 minutes left to go. First flying laps just on the board. Looked like one of the Mountain Goat 13 having a bit of a moment on the dirt. Towards the corkscrew we go. Keep an eye on the roof of this car. Just there you see a little black silhouetto. We're talking about these cars, these It's Racing Esports cars, having a specific message for me on the top. Well, that is my cat. That is Neil, the black cat who lives with me, who has been adorned to the top of the It's Racing Esports Honda. A 112.0 for him, a 111.999 for Brandosa. Deadpool straight to a 110.9. We expected good pace from Deadpool on the first qualifying lap. He has delivered. This Wood only on a 119. He's in the CP Motorsports Honda today. Dan 08 on a 112.521. Who's the replacement driver, of course. My apologies, Woodsy is the full-time driver for CP Motorsport. Huzo's had a good run as well. Deadpool, the fine limits of the left-hand flick there before the Ray House straight. There aren't many cars that actually have names there, so that is about as accurate as I can get with identifying the corner. Here's Puntz, who is the closest to Deadpool on time so far, a 111.3. Now, where's his teammate? Where is Enspud? There he is, running only P10 at the moment, 1.6 seconds off the time we just saw from Deadpool. A couple of other 111s coming in from It's Racing and Brandosa. Brandosa with some good qualifying pace at the moment. We saw Spud there just run a little bit wide. Is that enough to compromise his run out of the final sector? No, he increased and improved his time by almost a second, so a 111.6 puts him into P7 for the time being. Dis Wood has now lowered the bar for the rest of the pack with a 111.2. Can anyone surmount the pace of Deadpool, however? The only driver I've seen get into the 110s at any point in the couple of practice lobbies I've been in, although that's hearsay because I'm sure they practice more than I could ever know. Mountain Goat with a 111.6. He's had a decent run of it so far then. Running the 17 car. He just got that new livery, fresh and minty off of, I believe, Enspud. Shaden Racing Team. A couple of cars going into the pits. We don't usually see that in these quali sessions, but the tyre wear here is a little more prominent in most places. Brandosa crosses the line again to improve a 111.686. He's chipping away 10th by 10th. Lap on lap here in the Elite Brake and Mechanical Nissan GTR. Of course, this is the Elite Brake and Mechanical EBM Trackstars Touring Cars Series. We thank you so much for tuning in here this morning. Qualifying ongoing before the first of 3 14-lap races. Here is the virtual equivalent of Monterey, California. Deadpool just on an out lap at the moment. Let's see what Pointer is doing there in 13th if we can. For some reason it's not letting him change to somewhere beyond 10th place at the moment, which is a little bit of make. So I'm going to have to do 11th through 15th on the which isn't very good. For some reason my keyboard isn't letting me play. Fixed it, never mind. Let's see what kind of lap Pointed can put in then. 13th place, not exactly where one would expect him to be. It's Racing, not where I'd expect him to be either. He was doing a bit of Baja 1000 style driving. Southern California is the right place to do that kind of thing, but I don't think he's in the right car. Pointed, dips down through the corkscrew. Only a few hundreds up on his best at the moment, so looks like the Pit Lane Esports lead driver thus far this year is struggling a little bit. His teammate Gabans is a little further up. 110.2 for Deadpool, that's incredible. A 112.3 set by Pointed, but that puts him almost a second clear of the rest of the pack. Now this Honda has been ballasted to within an inch of its life to try and hold back Deadpool. However, He is still generating speed, unlike any other driver in the series. Incredible stuff from Deadpool. 1:10.2 is extraordinary when no one else in the field has even broken a 1:11. This would, he'll be on a mission to try and get at least a little bit closer on the opposing side of the front row. Also see what the likes of Punts and Farrell can do. Punts is a little further up the track. Let's see what his sector times are. He's through the Rayhouse straight, but he's going very slowly. I think he's abandoned this lap. Farrell PS, however, is a couple of tenths down on his best lap. He's not going to make that up in the final sector unless he got the final sector woefully wrong. AT ahead of him, getting a little bit of slip off of Spud. Let's see if any of these three improve their time. Pointed to a 1:12.1. 1:11.3 for Farrell puts him a little bit quicker. Woodsy crosses the line, but doesn't manage to improve his lap. So, not long left to go in the session, just 1 minute. Deadpool has abandoned his current lap. Now, we've seen Deadpool, even in the time that we've been streaming, he's been off at the left-hand flick before the Rayhouse straight a couple of times. And that may suggest that while he's got the 1 lap pace, he may struggle for consistency across the 14 lap races. So not all hope is lost for the other competitors at the moment, but Deadpool really showing himself to be in a class of his own in qualifying trim here at Laguna. What's Punts doing? He's just warming those tyres a little bit more before he goes for his final flying lap. So last chance saloon for a great many drivers here. Just 20 seconds of the session left to run as Diswood tips into the Andretti hairpin for his final time. Here comes Punts doing the same thing. A little bit wide of the apex there, but manages to hold the oversteer that was naturally developing in the car. Spud, another man we'd expect to see better things from to this point in the session. Let's see what his final lap yields. Oh, right on the limit of adhesion through the Andretti hairpin. A 1:11.5 for its racing puts him into 6th place. That's a decent result. 3rd row of the grid for him. Spud just sliding around a little bit. Oh, he was 2/10 up at that sector, but he's pushed it too hard around the rainy curve, and he's found himself in the sand pit. And that will unfortunately be the end of that for him. Papa AT running 5th, doesn't improve his time by the looks of it. Where is Diswood crosses the line now, doesn't improve his time, and I think, yep, that's all we're going to see. Unfortunately, was just looking for Punts, but unfortunately, he clearly had to abandon that lap some time ago. A couple more cars coming across the line. One of them is Deadpool, but he's got engine damage. Who was it up ahead? Didn't get a better lap time. So Deadpool, it is on the pole position in the Cartel Equipment Hire backed It's Racing Esports Honda. So then we will be racing in just a minute. It's an all Honda front row. One from It's Racing Esports, one from CP Motorsports. 2 drivers who would expect to be at the sharp end, Deadpool and Diswood. What we wouldn't expect is nearly a second of gap on 1 lap pace between them. This is going to be a very interesting race. The California Sprint, race 1 here at Laguna Seca. Here is the lineup of cars. Here is the grid in case you have forgotten. Good to see Farrell there on the second row, the first of the Nissan GTRs on his return race. So here's Deadpool. Gets the race underway. Looks like we had a jump start there from Wood. That's cost him dearly. Did everyone get off the line cleanly? I think the answer to that might be no. Let's go further back in the pack. Diswood down in 14th. Safety car already called, and Gabans with engine damage. So safety car is out for Gabans. Let's see if we can still catch what happened. I think I might be a bit slow to the punch here. Yes, unfortunately. Unfortunately so. Red flag has been declared, so that means everyone is going to exit. We're going to restart this race again. So a bit of a false storm there. Red flag. We saw, I think, effectively Diswood stalling it effectively off the line with the early jump start. Of course, the game then stops you from running for a minute, and that clogged up everyone else. If someone ends up stopped here at Laguna, where there's barely room for two cars to go together off the line, then you are going to end up with troubles, and that's exactly what we saw from Diswood and the rest of the field. Unfortunately, Gabans, the innocent party in that one. So we'll have to wait and see. Whether or not we get this one underway quickly. We see there that Spud and Chiami have both left the room. That's one of a veritable cavalcade of glitches that exist within GT Sport at the moment. So we'll see whenever a race gets prematurely ended, often cars do disappear. So hopefully they'll be back in just a second, and we can return to more racing with the Trackstars touring cars in just a moment. Stay with us here on the screen, racing just as soon as our full grid has made its way back. May not be Tomater, but Diswood surely seems to be a very good backwards driver indeed. Can he do the corkscrew? Yes, he took the Casey Stoner line, and he didn't quite hold it on the dismount, but that's okay. I think we can all agree there is no better preparation for a serious league race following your teammate who's driving backwards. Brady doing God's work. Is that bump draft I see? Yes, it is. Unfortunately, Spud has again left the room, so it's a bit worrying for Spud. I want to see him competing. At the moment, his internet seems to be having an issue, or at least the game is having an issue. going backwards while we wait for this race to restart. A bit of fender bending between Wood and Pointed. The two who were allies in the Blue Moon Bay 500, of course, and this is our Blue Moon Bay 500 winner. Disappointed in the 24 car. Which means of Jeff Gordon, his first win in the oval at Blue Moon Bay. We'll see whether or not he can match his my laptop just yelled at me to tell me that I was out of battery, so I had to quickly rectify that, but we'll see whether that boost in morale and perhaps the ego for Disappointed can aid him. He's been running well in the Track Stars touring cars, constantly bettering himself week on week. We'll see whether or not he can be a regular podium contender as we now get into the meat of the season. Following the Blue Moon Bay 500, we are still waiting for Spud. There's the distinctive side view of one Neil the Cat on the roof of Deadpool's car. I don't know if It's Racing's intention was to make me laugh every time I saw his car, but certainly that might be a side consequence of him sticking my cat on his roof. There may be some connection issues between Papa AT and N-Spud. Just judging by the fact that they've both left. We've seen this happen to Spud before when he gets disconnected from the lobby, so this isn't great news for the defending champ at the moment. Definitely want to see that number one Ash Spud's racing car on the circuit. So then, lobby reset declared by It's Racing. That means that we are going to exit this room. Thus, we exit this room. Unfortunately, it seems though people are having trouble getting back in, so this is a bit of a hurdle to overcome. Gran Turismo Sport once again coming in hot with some issues. Let's hope that we get this room back underway in short order. Apologies for the issues that we are having. Hello, Wesley. Well, the ever-present issues of trying to run a serious event on Gran Turismo Sport are biting once again. Hopefully, we get this one underway in just a second. There's the room. Let's hope the race follows. been joined by one Neil the cat, who is now standing in front of the telly. Very interesting. And he's gone. So we await the start of the race now. Going in earnest. Got some reversers. So Paparazzi is going to join them. Excellent. No heroics into turn one, please, is the entry message for Farrell. That applies to this, that applies to dailies. That's a very good all-rounder message, that. How many have we got in? We've got the full quota of 16. Hopefully they can all see each other and we can get this race underway in short order. Spuddy's left again. World's fastest potato has had lots of internet issues today. It looks as though he is calling it quits, unfortunately. Correct, Brian. It is very sad that the iconic Raybrig colours are no more. Spuddy joining the room one more time. Deadpool in the 28 car then, who will start on pole position for this race. Of course, its racing will have to manually set the grid based on the qualifying order. Spud left again. I think that's proof positive that he will not be racing, unfortunately. I think Spud will be trying indefinitely. to wait, hopefully, for the race to get going. Apologies, just got a comment from the cat. Papa AT has left the room. Oh dear. This is troubling, to say the least. We're sticking to one camera for Deadpool at the moment. That's interesting. Let's see how much of the track this camera can pick up. Do a bad job over the Cooper Tyres bridge. Oh, but disappears under the embankment, and that'll be it for quite a while. Mountain Goat 13. Rider that's looking good for Shaden in qualifying. Let's see how he does in race spec. We do have three races of 14 laps to look at here. Let's hope that we are underway before too long. Brian, lots of colour changes at the moment in Super GT. It's kind of sad to see, but it does happen. I never thought we'd see, when I was a young child, I never thought we'd see a V8 supercar grid without a Pertec Ford Falcon, but one American expedition later for Marcus Ambrose, and that proved to be a false economy. Just a little bit shaky there. A small minor detail of everyone driving backwards must be fun for Mountain Goat. I hope these drivers remember which way they're going when we do eventually go racing. If you keep mentioning it, it will happen. Manifesting, I believe they call it. It's Racing has started the final. I'm assuming Papa AT is back in. We haven't seen Spud re-enter, so I guess he's pulled it over for good. So then, we are hopefully going to get to go racing. The field depleted by one. Or is it? No, Spud is there. That's a good sign. So it looks as though we might be up to full strength. Deadpool and Diswood off the line. Lots more wheel spin from Diswood. Does it equate to a quicker start? Doesn't look like it did. Is that a number of cars stuck on the line? It is. Mountain Goat is stuck. Papa AT is stuck. Oh dear. Well, when it rains it pours in Gran Turismo Sport. We have another red flag. Disappointing stuff here. We want to see this racing get underway. Unfortunately, the platform we race on is conspiring against us. Spud has left the room again, so has Papa, so has Xiaomi. Now I think that might be more of the same. When a race ends, often the connections follow. Brandosa has left as well, so clearly something is askew at the moment. Resetting. Oh dear. Hope it's a lobby host that I have. I hope it's going to be it again or someone. But yeah, I think a new host, as Deadpool just said before we ended, might be a good idea. Well, while we're here, if you're not a part of the Discord, you'll know that I'm due to return to real-life motorsports on May 22nd, having had a bit of an extended delay to going back to racing for myself. Thankfully, I will be there on the 23rd, Sunday the 23rd. I should be back home in plenty of time to do the Trackstars Touring Cars broadcast, or whatever Trackstar series it is that week. I can't remember if it is the Touring Cars or not. But then from there on, pretty much every weekend for the foreseeable, I'm at a race circuit in real life. So I will have to withdraw from my duties here at Trackstars. What that does mean is we are looking for new people. It's Racing is actively searching for new broadcasters for the Trackstars series. The reason I bring this up on stream is because if anyone is listening who is a good candidate, then they should get in touch here on the YouTube channel, or indeed on the Trackstars Discord if you're not already a member. It would be great to have someone pick up where we've left off here and continuing to broadcast the Trackstars Touring Cars, the Formula Trackstars, Trackstars Endurance, and all the other excellent racing events that we have here on the Trackstars Racing Series roster. Hopefully, we usually get these races done a little quicker than we have so far today. Okay, Benjo is apparently going to host the new lobby. There he is. Oh, that's not good. One red bar of connection. Well, we can hope. Well, 13 in to this point. Let's see, who are we missing? We're missing It's Racing. I think we're missing Pointed as well, but he's in, so hopefully everyone can get involved. Spud's disconnected again. What's going on with Spud? Oh dear. Continue on without Spud, unfortunately. Is everybody ticked in? Hard to say. I can't get a look at the pit lane at the moment. But hopefully everyone's in. We can get the race underway in short order. We've got only 10, so clearly a few people aren't here yet. Only 13 in, which means that someone else is missing. Oh, I don't see it's. There he is. Good. It's not just a connection issue. Go on, Huso. You can do it. Oh, let's hope that we get this thing going. Desperately want to get this race underway. I want to watch the F1 in a couple of hours. Waiting for Spuds. Guys, he doesn't. Okay. I hope desperately that he gets this going, because obviously we want him to be intact for the championship. He is back in. Go on, Spuddy. Would be nice to see him out. Hopefully be a part of the race. First time he's had issues, of course, this season. The endurance series was a bit tricky as well. At Monza. It's the third race at Bathurst as well, if memory serves me correctly. Hopefully, we are just a few moments away from going racing here at Laguna Seca at long last. Third time lucky on a race start, perhaps. Unfortunately, there goes Spud again. We can pull time on this and get the race going. Wait and see if we can get in. He did start the race a few moments ago, the second attempt, but this race. 14 in at the moment. 15 is the magic number, including, of course, Benko PLR's safety car. Distance it is with Cat. Oh! There's Neil and Cat on my front of my TV screen in real life as well. Neil, stuff over. Well done, Neil. Well done. Right, we've got 15 on track. So hopefully we'll get this race underway in just a second. Aha, the final will begin. So then the first of 3 14-lap races. Mountain Goat into the barrier just before we get to green flag. The California Sprint live from virtual Monterey, California, the WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, no longer the Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, of course. No Mazdas in this field though. 2 Hondas on the front row, Deadpool and Wood, 2 drivers to look out for. Let's keep an eye on Wood, make sure he launches this one cleanly. Racing, they are underway, and it looks like everybody is off the line cleanly at long last. We are racing here at Laguna Seca. It's Deadpool who leads into the first corner, punts on the outside there. Mountain Goat with a good start in P4. In the Nissan. So he's now the leading Nissan. He's managed to get past Farrell. Oh, Papa AT making his way through the order as well, as is It's Racing. But it's this man, Deadpool, who leads the way in the early stages. Lap number 1 of 14. We'll see whether he can string together that amazing pace on a consistent basis across the next 14 laps of the race. The 28 car flicks left now up the Rahal straight for the first time. It's not particularly straight, the Rahal straight, but nonetheless, through the corkscrew for the first time they go. It looks like that back of the third is hotting up. The 2 Hondas are driving away. Punts there in 3rd place, looking to make amends for his loss of the victory just last week here at Laguna Seca in the Formula Track Stars Series. Mountain Goat in 4th place, putting on a strong showing in what I believe is his Track Stars Touring Cars debut. He's right there under the wing of Points. He's not going to be close enough into the Andretti hairpin, I don't think. Or is he? No, not quite. Spud Papa, it's 8th place is EBM Brandosa. Brake and Mechanical Racing Team 34 car. Oh, but running it a bit wide there in front of Disappointed in 9th. He's had better runs in quali than he's had today. He's going to hope to carve through the field a little bit in the race. Of course, he did get lapped last week in the Formula Track Stars, but he managed to recover it well. Help from a wave by from the safety car. Gaban's in P10, car 55 on the attack on his own teammate, is he? No, not quite. Finding a way by there. Xiaomi in 11th and Dan 08 with the Red Bull backed Shaden Racing Team car ahead of Little Blacko in the 13. We have a yellow flag out there for Punts. That was Punts. Can we get a replay of what happened? Oh, he spun it again there. He was behind Diswood and Mountain Goat. Oh, and he just spun it on his own. Very lucky not to be collected by Mountain Goat there as well. But unfortunately, that error is going to cost him dearly. He's into the pit lane with damage even. We've had someone leave the lobby by the looks of it because we're down to 14 from the 15 who started the race. Who is it we're missing? Field. No one's immediately jumping out to me as missing. You are missing. I'm not spotting you, I'm sorry. Oh, there's Diswood. We don't need a replay of that. We know exactly what happened there. That sausage curb bit him, or the outside curb bit him. Let's take a look anyway. It was the sausage curb, just turned in a bit too early. And that drops drops him down to 5th place, just ahead of It's Racing and just behind his teammate Papa AT. By the Next Level Racing Sim Equipment Company, Papa AT running in 4th place as it stands. Spud and Mountain Goat 2nd and 3rd. So Spud had all of the issues trying to get into the room. Is now running well in 3rd place at the leading Lexus. 3 manufacturers in the top 3, but look at the gap being surmounted here by Deadpool. He's in his quali pace, a 1:10 at 5:04. That's quicker than anyone else went in qualifying in race trim. Deadpool has been showing flashes of brilliance all season long, but here at Laguna Seca, he really seems to be in his happy place. Yes, it's Farrell. Apologies. I've been so used to Farrell being absent. I hadn't, his name hadn't crossed my mind, but unfortunately, yes, he is gone. Whether that was a disconnect or real-world commitments, I don't know, because he said he was only going to be able to do the first race anyway. It's unfortunate stuff from Farrell. Is that a penalty? Yes, Brandosa is going to have to serve a penalty, so that allows Gabans through. Shiami as well. Might end up being side by side here as they go over the crest. Yes, indeed. Who's going to have the run into the first corner proper? The Andretti hairpin. Well, Brandosa just keeps his teammate behind his teammate. A car that can't be fun to drive in the sun. 52 of Shiami. Mountain Goat then. He climbed to a serious height here. Running in P2, Shaden Racing Team. 5.8 seconds though is the advantage of Deadpool over the rest of the pack. Here's Papa AT down through the corkscrew. It's racing in 5th. Gabans running 6th now, so he's working his way through the order nicely as Gabans. 55 car, Lexus. Oh, a little bit of snaking. As Brandosa goes on the offensive. To the outside, that's where his teammate was on him last lap. Is he going to be able to go all the way around the outside of Gabans? No, not quite. But he does get a better launch out of the corner. Gabans leaves the door open, but it's not quite enough of an overlap for Brandosa to look at making a move. Both cars jolting slightly there, under power. Also, I think a little bit of wheel on the curb as well would have had a role to play in that. Here comes Papa AT. Back of this man Spud. One car under pressure for P3 at the moment. It's Racing starting to develop his own island here in 5th. Gabans has actually lost Brandosa there. Brandosa must have made an error. He's now behind Shiami, so Shiami's up to P7. Let's look further back. Little Blacko. We'd expect to see a little further up, and off track goes Dan 08. I think it was just as simple as a wheel on the dirt. He got a bit loose at the corkscrew, then a rainy curve. Yep, just a wheel on the dirt, and he couldn't stop it in time. Hits the barriers, does get some damage as a result of it. Into the pits to make some repairs. Mountain Goat rowing dangerously as well there. War Punts down in 13th place meanwhile. Of course, he has already had to come in for repairs for much the same kind of incident that Dan 08 had just now. Lap 6 of 14 here at Laguna Seca. Certainly there have been dramas plenty already in this one. Mountain Goat starting to look comfortable there in 2nd place. He's found his footing. Spud not quite under the same level of pressure from Papa, which suggests maybe there was a slight mistake on Brandosa and Chiami going to run side by side, and Chiami letting Brandosa by. I mean, Brandosa does have a good stake on the championship battle at the moment. He is further up, so maybe that was teamly thinking for Chiami. Gaban's then in the top half dozen. He'll be happy with that, but he's going to have to fight hard to keep that placing, I think. Let's look further back to this man in 11th, Dis Wood, who's obviously not had it his own way either. We saw him make one mistake that put him down from 2nd place, but now he's all the way down in 11th, so it's gone well for him, and it's not going to continue to go well. Oh, that was a horrible moment for him, just whiplashing into the barrier. Right on board. This is how easy done it is. Just hesitating a bit on the exit of the corner, gets a wheel on the dirt, and the car slingshots into the barrier. Unfortunately, damage for him as well. Brandosa is in as well with damage. Now, did that happen recently enough that we can see what happened? Well, he's already got the damage, and he's already behind Chiami by the time we see the replay. Spudsy then in 3rd place. Laguna Seca, a circuit that bites, and this certainly seems to be a race of survival at the moment. It's soon going to be a tale of 2 packs, those who have had to pit for damage and those who have not. Now, of those who have not, it's this man, Deadpool, who leads by the better part of 10 seconds already. Yet to lap outside the 111s. 111.3, his slowest lap of the day so far. That would have been good enough to still be at the sharpish end of the grid. Out to go Spud and Papa, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Gabans now has a nice advantage over Chiami in 7th place. Of course, the pressure from Brandosa has been forcibly subsided. Brandosa's come back out in 10th place, just 6 seconds clear of Dis Wood. Not long until Deadpool has to worry about traffic here. Just rocked wheels on the dirt, but it looks like he had it under control. Sounds like we're going to have Robosport, the man behind Robosport Racing, filling in for Farrell in short order. YouTube chat there that he'll be in, so the man behind the team will once again get behind the wheel. AT, meanwhile, his lap times have been fairly consistent. He was in the 112s for a while early on, but he's now lowering that bar to the mid-111s, which is good to see. Progress across the race, in spite of the tyres just starting to wear a little bit. 111.6 there will serve him nicely as well. Slightly late on the brakes there for Spud. I think 2-3 more meters later on that brake and he wouldn't have made it to the apex of the Andretti hairpin. It's racing. He said he was going to develop his own island, and he very much has, unfortunately. Not the good kind of Nostradamus, unfortunately. Gabans running now lonely as well in 6th place. Not many battles out there on the circuit at the moment. Blanco in 8th position, just ahead of Pointed. The closest duo on the circuit for the first of the cars that is pitted, that being EBM and Brandosa. Just closing up to Dan 08 is Deadpool. Dan firmly vacates the racing line, but doesn't lift off the throttle, so that was a bit weird. He'll now find himself right amongst the wheel tracks of Deadpool. This time he releases the throttle, and Deadpool gets by. 3 seconds is the advantage for Deadpool. Spud still holding on to the back of Mountain Goat, who has been a revelation so far in this one for Shaden Racing Team, with just over 2 laps left to run. The 17 car doing a great job thus far. Tips it into the corkscrew. Forward a little bit sideways, but nonetheless just a couple of hundredths off. Mountain Goat tips it in. Spud following him in P3, Papa AT in 4th, It's Racing in 5th. It's running 6th as it stands. It seems as though the only battle with any imminent issues, or any imminent consequences, that's the word I'm looking for. Any imminent consequences in the event of a slight error, a missed apex, or something relatively inconsequential like that, would be Mountain Goats and Spuds. Blacko is, of course, still having to fend off from Pointed. Got a wheel on the dirt there. Just about managed to keep it on the straight and narrow. We've seen Deadpool make use of that dirt as well, intentionally or no. Whether he's widening the course or just making slight errors, perhaps we'll never know, because his pace has been solid throughout the motor race. He's over 10 seconds clear now as we head on to the final lap of the race. Spud there in 3rd place, just 4/10 back, but an overtake in these big Group 2 cars is very tricky here at Laguna Seca. Spud is going to have to find the right place and the right time. He was later on the brakes again there into the Andretti hairpin. On board with Spud. He follows Mountain Goat's tracks. Just a few more braking zones, a few more opportunities. Oh, he's run it wide there. Both of them did. Mountain Goat ran it onto the dirt, but I think he's maybe put himself beyond what Spud can do now. I was wondering if a last lap move into the corkscrew would be on, but he's not close enough to do it. A good run through this final section may allow him an opportunity. No, a penalty. That will do him in, so that will be a win for this man, Deadpool, who crosses the line with a commanding advantage. Mountain Goat will take 2nd. I'm just going to look further back, though, to this battle for 8th place, and just in time to see little Blacko make an error there. Oh, that was so unfortunate for Blacko. Just losing the 8th position to Disappointed at the final hurdle. He's going to hold on to 9th place. Pointed isn't quite going to be able to challenge Xiami for 7th. Mountain Goat did cross the line in 2nd, ahead of Spud in 3rd. Papa AT taking the 4th position, ahead of It's Racing in 5th, and Gabans in 6th. Xiami taking P7. Disappointed, as we said, taking P8. Little Blacko ahead of Brandosa, who will cross the line in 10th place. The first of the cars that had to pit for damage. And Diswood in 11th place. He won't be too satisfied with that performance. And Punts will cross the line in 12th. The last of the cars on the lead lap, of course, Dano 8 did get lapped after making his stop for his damage as well. Punts crosses the line for P12 then. That's the end of the race. We lost Farrell in that one. But hopefully we will see RoboSport fill the void for the RoboSport Racing Team. Well, that was a great performance from Deadpool. Excellent racing from him. Full quota of 16 cars back in the lobby. Farrell is there, interestingly. So what does that mean? Because if he's still in the lobby, does that mean he can race? Because if he's not in the if he's in the lobby but he can't race, he's left his PlayStation, then he's blocking the slot in the room for RoboSport. So either he's going to have to get kicked, or he will race in race 2, but it didn't make sense that he'd leave the first race without leaving the lobby unless he's intending to race in the second one. Well, that's certainly very interesting. Oh, it was a quit rather than a disconnect then, Robbo. Okay. Well, good to see that we'll have another go. He's yet to tick in, as is Punts, but hopefully we can get this show on the road quickly. I think we all want to see the second race in a short order. This touring car racing in the real world is starting to sidle itself up once more. We've seen the Touring Car Championship make its return this weekend at Thruxton. Their first race, I believe, actually ongoing at the moment. The supercars, of course, have been running for a few months now. We'll have the WTCR, the World Touring Car Cup, underway shortly as well. What we run in terms of the machinery probably isn't strictly a touring car. Certainly we do have touring car style racing. A little bit of side-on-side contact, as long as you're not really ending someone's day with it, is okay. Stewards, of course, take a keen eye, willing to accept a little bit of argy-bargy, nothing that constitutes a ram or a penalty in real life, or a penalty in the series as well. Oh, Wesley, Deadpool having a little bit of a moment there, but that's okay. He will recover himself and live to fight another day. He's waving his nose at us. Still waiting for someone to tick in. Still Punts and Farrell. I'm guessing Punts has vacated his seat for a moment. Potentially a bit of a loo break. Right, let's hope that this one will get underway in relatively short order. It would be good to get this one on the road. Still not ticked in. Notified left, right and centre, but still they are not here. Still getting used to seeing the silhouette of a cat on the roof of these It's Racing esports cars. Funny enough, I sent that picture to It's just 2 or 3 days ago. We created cat pictures because so with plenty of social life. To which his sentence in return was, "That needs to be on the side of the car on GT." It isn't on the side, it's on the roof, but he's true to his word. Getting involved in the festivities out on circuit. Safety car that we haven't had to see in action yet. We've seen the red flags, we've not seen the safety car. going to try begging. Begging sometimes works. Oh no, Farrell's gone. Guessing that means RoboSport is going to come in. So Robbo will come in. So you are, Punt, so you are. Apologies. I'm just an eager beaver is all. Then will be back in the hot seat. Of course, he races in the TS2 series these days. Very potent on a good day as well. So we'll see how he fits into the current Trackstars lineup. We've got some of the Shaden boys looking quicker, and Pit Lane Esports potentially with a better overall lineup as well. So the standard of the Trackstars Touring Car Series constantly elevating. It's interesting to see how new drivers or drivers from the previous seasons now match up. Sport, of course, happy being a team manager as well as a racer. The Dick Johnson, potentially, of the Trackstars Touring Car Series. We are ready for racing then. Thankfully, the grid has been set nicely. Was worried that maybe the game would decide someone was in the wrong place or something of that nature, because it does do that at times. Deadpool, however, will be starting from the pole position. Spuddy in third. Deadpool will be Mountain Goat. Spud with a great launch though. He's in second. Is he going to draw alongside? No, Mountain Goat's got the inside line, though, as they go into turn one. And Mountain Goat leads the race, but he's immediately got himself a penalty. Oh, bit of contact with Deadpool. Deadpool into the lead of the race once more. I think that will be considered fair driving, all told. First corner scrum. Everyone battling for position as they go under the Cooper Tyres grid, but it looks as though everybody has got out of that one relatively cleanly. Mountain Goat managed to burn all of his penalty there almost immediately, so that was lucky. He did cut through the pit lane entry as we got the race underway, and that does sometimes lead to a penalty. Xiaomi up to 6th place then between the two Pit Lane Esports cars. Pointed has had a good start, as has Gavans. Diswood up to 8th, of course. Some drivers working their way from the back, and Xiaomi takes out Pointed. Pointed there. A bit of an innocent bystander there, unfortunately. Let's get a replay of that one from his perspective. Just heading into the corkscrew. Oh, he tapped the inside. No, he's not as innocent as I thought he was after all. He, well, he was waiting for a reason. He helped Xiaomi on his way there, to put it charitably. He's now alongside Little Blacko. Oh, and Xiaomi unfortunately has damage. I think that one is going to go to the stewards. Deadpool, though, running in the lead of the race once again. Just for a minute there, it looked like maybe he'd been bottled up by Mountain Goat, but he managed to find a way back through. There was a little bit of contact between the two of them. I have no doubt the incident will potentially be investigated, but I think it would go down as relatively okay driving. We'll see. We'll speculate on that another day. Mountain Goat 13, though, in second place from Kappa 18. He's the only non-Honda in the top four. Lands there in 5th, the first of the Lexuses in 5th spot at the moment. moment there for Punts down in 9th, and Blacko's run off the circuit as well. And again, we have Pointed waiting, so let's take a look at that. Has he had another moment there? Yes, way too late on the brakes. Just slams into the back of Blacko. Oh, Pointed having what we would call an annus horribilis at the moment. Now, do either of these drivers have damage? Certainly Blacko doesn't. Let's just take a look at Pointed. He does not either, but he won't be impressed with himself there. Stern now. Just very, very close to getting a wheel on the dirt there. Was Pointed. Looks like the battle will continue on. I saw yellow flags, but for whom? It was Diswood. Oh, another moment on the dirt, was it? Oh, he was side by side with It's Racing, and well, he was run out of room there. Interested to see blame is potentially cast on that. He was all the way alongside him, but at the end of the day, 3 wide through Rainy Curve was never going to work, so we have plenty to do from race 2, just off the first 4 laps. Oh, heard an engine bouncing off the limiter. It was Brandosa. Let's see what happened to him. It's Racing is behind. Brandosa, I'm guessing, just gets a... Oh, he gets it loose there and almost takes it with him. Once, I think, slammed into the side of the GTR a bit there. Did he get damage? No, thankfully not. Both cars managed to get away with that one. Sport, who has damage, so something's happened to him as well. Don't think the replay would be any use to us at this stage. Into the pits goes Robbo. Pointed and Blacko in the order then, by virtue of issues for their fellow combatants. Some side-by-side running further back. It's Punts on the attack. It's Racing just ahead of him. Just ahead, Gabans and Spud having a good battle for what is now 4th place. So Gabans really putting in a good showing on his pit lane esports debut. Of course, I say pit lane esports debut. He was racing for them last week in the Formula Track Stars, but in terms of the touring car series, is his debut. Team was in the Blue Moon Bay 500, of course, when he was running for the It's Racing esports outfit. Mountain Goat into the braking zone, still being tracked by Papa AT. As they go around the Andretti hairpin for the 6th time of asking. This man, Deadpool, meanwhile, already over 4 seconds clear, once again setting the fastest laps of the race. I still think he's the only driver to get below a 111 in any session to this point in the weekend, so he really is taking a dominant stance at this race. Just crossing the curbs there. I think he'll get a half-second penalty at that section of the circuit. No, he does not. Look at this, going purple by just a few hundredths of a second. He's masterfully staying right on the edge of his optimum pace within the race. Now to the final turn. Is it another fast lap? Yes, a 1:10.8. Bands, meanwhile, holding stern. And it looks like we've lost Punts. Where is Punts? Punts has had an issue by the looks of it. Has he got damage from the issue? No, he does not. Can we get a replay? Oh, but I think just the location, he was already in P12. I think you can maybe make an assumption. It was just coming onto the Rahal straight where he lost his position. Oh, and Spud having a moment as well, trying to whip the dirt off the tyres. Just missed the apex there. It's so easy. If you turn in 100th of a second too late into that corner, it is game over. That's an interesting issue to have. Who has triggered yellow flags? It's Deadpool! Deadpool has had an issue. What happened to Deadpool there? Just maybe a wheel on the dirt on entry? Yes, exactly. Oh dear, Deadpool losing his race lead there. Just got back onto the circuit. Oh, Mountain Goat almost took him there. And Deadpool now finds himself on the offensive. Hasn't got any damage, but he has lost himself 2 places. So it's Mountain Goat who leads the way. What a spectacular debut for Shaden Racing Team for Mountain Goat. Well, another twist in the tail that has been the California Sprint here in the Elite Breaker Mechanical Trackstars Touring Cars Series. Expecting fireworks here at Laguna. They took a while to go off, but boy, are they ever now. Deadpool in 3rd position. He's going to have to show that he can overtake here. We know that he can set a fast time. Oh, almost got into the back of Papa AT there. Almost ended up having another moment at the very same corner. 2 laps in a row. Just going to look a little further back. I think we have a good battle for 8th. Yes, Dan, Little Blacko and Pointed are looking to get closer and closer together. Spud and Gabans have calmed down just a little bit, but it's Mountain Goat who leads in the 17 car, lap 9 of 14. He's got 5 laps to hold off this man, Papa AT, and our usual race leader, Deadpool, who has had a mistake. The last time by, the end of lap 8 was the first lap of the day that he hadn't led across both races. Of course, Mountain Goat was in the lead for just a few moments at the start of the race. Now Deadpool is more concretely off his throne, and he's going to have to fight to get back to it. Deadpool 1.1 seconds off the lead. He's got to get past Papa AT first though, just 100th or so, just a few hundredths off his personal best for the first sector, so the pace is definitely still there. Let's see if he can find a way through. He's notably closer now to the back of Papa. Papa gets a better run up the hill. Oh, Deadpool pushing the finer limits there as he goes on to the Rahal straight. He's not close enough into the corkscrew. Down they go. Papa, not sure what to do with himself, I imagine. He wants to push and try and find a way into the lead of this motor race. However, he knows the man behind him is capable of more pace. Oh, and Papa's lost it, has he? Yes, he has. I thought he'd held it for just a second there, but unfortunately, powered down a moment too early. Oh, and he's still having the accident quite a long time later, but thankfully, he has managed to get away with that one. Let's ride on board to see what happened. Oh, yeah, just too early, too snaky on the power. Now, Mountain Goat is down his previous sparring partner. Papa AT down in 6th place, running with damage. Will probably have to pit in, and there goes Deadpool. No, just about holds on to it. But this race has been a war of attrition. 2 corners in a row. Deadpool is going rally crossing. Now he's got dirty tyres as he goes into the corkscrew, and he makes it 3 from 3 as a result. Didn't factor in the dirty tyres as he turned in. If anyone knows Deadpool, they'll know that he was rather loud about that one. But now he really does have a mission on his hands. We know he's quick. We know he's got the pace. But he's 3.8 seconds back from Mountain Goat. That's going to take a supreme amount of effort if he is to get his lead back. He runs in 2nd place. 3rd place now is Gabans. A great showing from Gabans for Pit Lane Esports. 3rd position. He will be delighted with that one, I think. The driver of the 55 car in new territory. Previously was in an It's Racing Esports Honda, of course, but now he is at the wheel of the Pit Lane Esports Lexus. N-Spud there in 4th position will be following closely the other Lexus's progress. And oh, he's nearly had the same moment that Deadpool had on the last lap. He's just about held on to it, though. Doesn't make the same error at the next turn. Deadpool looks like he just doesn't have the pace anymore. I think he's psyched himself out or potentially overheated his rear tyres, because now he's under more pressure from Gabans for 2nd place, rather than applying pressure to Mountain Goat by setting some more of those qualifying style laps. So potentially Deadpool is going to have to settle for 2nd at best here. 2 laps. I don't think he's going to get 4 seconds. We are seeing good, consistent pace from Mountain Goat. Commendable job so far. Little Blacko up to 8th place meanwhile. He's got Diswood for company, pointed behind both of them. Haven't seen It's Racing really, but he's running 6th place just ahead of Papa AT. Another fairly anonymous race for him. He's got not much in the way of company. The gap is now starting to come down between Deadpool and Mountain Goat, but only after it went up on the previous lap, I think. But this one is certainly swinging away from Deadpool, to say the very least of it. He is going quicker than he has done at any stage in the race so far, but clearly there's some good pace out of this GTR as well, because only losing a few tenths on this lap is Mountain Goat. Indeed, a 1:11.5, right up there with some of his best pace, and Deadpool has the hammer down. A 1:10.756 is the fastest lap of the race. He's now got himself some breathing room over Gabans, but surely not going to be surmountable, this advantage for the Mountain Goat. Helicopter shot here at Laguna. 3.2 seconds the advantage for Shaden Racing Team. I don't think Shaden Racing Team have ever seen a car on the top step of the podium in the Trackstars Touring Cars Series, so their new man is about to make history for the team. You saw him get a wheel on the dirt there. He's dropped some time to Deadpool as a result of it, but just a few corners between Mountain Goat and victory here. 2.4 seconds the gap as he rounds the penultimate corner now, already through the rainy curve. Just into the last corner, onto the power. And we can now say it, Mountain Goat is going to take the win here at Laguna Seca. Great performance for the Shaden Racing Team, for Mountain Goat 13. Great driving by the Nissan GTR driver. Deadpool recovering to 2nd place after his slight error there cost him the win and the lead at that point in the race. Gabans in 3rd place ahead of Spud and Brandosa. He'll be happy with 5th place in that one. It's Racing takes 6th place. Papa AT eventually got 7th place. ahead of Diswood and Little Blacko. Looks like he maybe had a slight error on the final lap, Papa, because he was much closer to the back of It's Racing. Dan 08 rounding out the top 10 for Shaden, so it's been a good showing all round for the Shaden Racing team, boys. He'll be happy to get a top 10 after having a few issues in the first race. Pointed and Punts in 11th and 12th respectively. Xiami taking the 13th position, and 14th will eventually go to Robosport, who of course had to repair some damage in this race, and he does cross the line now to at least get some points on the board for the Robosport Racing crew. But a victory for Mountain Goat, the Nissan GTR taking the win. Shaden Racing team again, I think their first ever win in the Trackstars Touring Car Series, but certainly one of their best results to date, and excellent stuff from him. Kept the car on track under pressure and took full advantage of the moment there for Deadpool. Oh no, Deadpool on the chat saying his wheel fell out of place. Oh dear, that is criminally unlucky. You wore me out, I am 40. Excellent stuff. Well, hopefully we can get the third race underway in short order. We've had 2 crackers so far here today at Laguna. Spud as well. First win for Nissan in 2021. I couldn't remember if one of the EBM drivers had maybe got a victory, but yes, the GTR taking its first win. 4 minutes until race start. So at 20 to the hour, just before 20 to the hour, we'll go racing. Wondering if maybe his issues stem from having a black cat on the roof. We all know that black cats have some questionable luck attached to them. Maybe the black cat curse. Since he does have Neil on his car, which I still can't quite get over. I do love the Trackstars boys, they are very fun. See sporting chat there between Mountain Goat and Deadpool. Deadpool getting the laps in, building his confidence. he struggles to have, but interesting that he's basically running the car as a 4-speed there, bouncing off the limiter at 270 k's in 4th gear as he approached the Andretti. To race start. Deadpool's going to want to avoid doing that. He managed to keep it together very well. That was a full flick of the wheel, I think, that managed to keep him on track there. The final will begin in 3 seconds. Third race of the day then. And the front row is the same as last time, but this time around it is the Mountain Goat on a pole position. He's managed to climb to the very peak of the mountain itself. Will he establish himself as the GOAT within Shaden Racing Team over the rest of the season? He's certainly well within, or well on his way to that accolade. On board then with Gabans. We'll get a grandstand view as we get off the line. We are underway and racing, and it's a good start indeed from Gabans, who's right on the outside. Deadpool getting an almighty squeeze. They're making all kinds of contact there. Gabans wanted to firmly turn in, and Deadpool is being bullied and harassed to within an inch of his life. He's down in 9th place now. Oh dear, Deadpool really getting the filthiest end of the stick. It's racing getting some issues as well. He is just falling apart here on the first lap for Deadpool. He was pushed by several different drivers there. Gabans was having none of it as he tried to get through the gap between Gabans and Mountain Goat. It is Mountain Goat who leads. Spud up to 2nd place. M-Spud, who has had a mixed day so far, various connection issues causing the races to be delayed as we tried to get him back in, as well as a couple of others who were struggling. And now, thankfully, he's right in amongst the top of it. The championship lead, or not the championship leader, sorry, but the defending champion, who so often manages to get his way back towards the front when it looks as though, based on qualifying, he isn't quite there, has once again found himself tracking the leader in P2 at the race as they head into the Andretti hairpin for the 2nd time. Let's keep an eye on Deadpool as well. He's up to 7th place. I think, given the nature of his run through the Andretti hairpin on lap 1, he's going to have his elbows out permanently for the rest of this race. He's going to want that win. We know he's got the speed, and he's going to be pushing that NSX for everything it's worth. Of course, it can be easy to push too hard, especially in these mid-engine cars. And when they do get pushed too hard, they certainly bite back. So he's going to have to just take some deep breaths here, recompose, and try and catch back up. That's not going to help his case, though. Ooh, lots of squirrely driving throughout the field. Gabans really the cork in the bottle in 3rd place at the moment. Oh, and I think that was contact between Papa and Bunce there. That's allowed Deadpool through into 6th place. Let's ride on board. Oh, Papa almost having a mighty moment, and then ends up taking the side of Bunce's car. That would be considered questionable. I think Papa there having a bit of a moment afterwards, as we saw. That's put Deadpool up to 5th place, of course, but I don't think Bunce will be too happy. I don't know whether Papa was trying to give the place back. He certainly ended up on the gravel. Where is Papa? He's in 10th place. Okay. Looks like Mountain Goat is squirreling up the hillside, up the Rahal straight and getting away from Spud. 1.4 seconds the advantage. Gabans there in third place. Looks like he's closing in on Spud as well. Deadpool in fifth position. Fastest lap of the race so far is with Mountain Goat. Still yet to see another 1:10 though. Deadpool has those in his arsenal, but he's going to have to be setting them pretty consistently to not only get past the cars between him and Mountain Goat, but to actually catch up to Mountain Goat himself. Crosses the line with a 1:11.5. So that's not quite the impressive pace he would want. He's going to keep pushing. Up on this one at any point. Oh, Spud there, just getting a wheel on the dirt again. So easy to make mistakes here at Laguna. We've got so many cars dotted around the circuit. Looks like there's been a moment there between Kappa potentially and Dan08. Let's see what transpired there. It was Dan just slower through the corner than expected. Oh, Dan, yeah, much slower at Papa 18, just scything past there. Greatest of ease. Pointed down in 10th. Little Blacko in 11th. Robosport in 12th, and it's racing all the way down in 13th. Both him and Diswood have clearly had to come in for a pit stop on that last lap. Now, was that a moment between the two of them? Or was that separate incidents? Either way, two NSXs have clearly had to come into the pits with damage. Battle for second is hotting up. Spud has clearly made an error because he's now 4.2 seconds behind Mountain Goat. Brandosa and Deadpool waiting in the wings. Brandosa there a bit deep on the brakes. Deadpool waiting in the wings as they go under the VP Racing bridge, dive down into that fast left-hander. Deadpool taking that much easier that time by. He's going to be wondering whether he needs to go on the offensive or whether he can just wait for these two to make a hole for him. Towards the final corner. Mendoza looks to the inside. Spud in second place at the moment. Mendoza looks to the inside, but he's not going to be able to make that stick. Ooh, a little bit of contact between Brandosa and Spud that time. Attack. Is he going to look to the inside as they head into the corner? He does. Brandosa leaves him just enough room, but the move isn't made. Brandosa really making that gap for Deadpool out of self-preservation, I think. Now he's down to 5th place at the moment. He'll be watching this with interest as well. Half-second penalty for Brandosa. He's going to have to serve that on the main straight, so that's going to allow Deadpool into third position. Sure enough, there he goes. Deadpool getting a little bit sideways, trying to avoid the back of Brandosa. Brandosa holds on to 5th, or does he? Right there with him. He does hold on to P5, having lost 3rd and 4th to Deadpool and Gabans respectively. A little bit of wheel on the dirt clearly for Spud that time. Once again, drama here at Laguna Seca. Drivers out of position, incidents, damage, contact. Like we may have a battle further back in the order. Oh, Diswood is back in. Maybe more damage for him then. I thought there was a little bit of trouble afoot between Diswood and its racing. If there was, it clearly ended badly. But whether or not Diswood fell or was pushed, we don't know. But he's back in the pit lane. I think he might be retiring from the race based on the fact that he is yet to come out of the pits. He's now well over a lap down. Spud will be watching his mirrors. Look at Deadpool's last lap, a 1:10.7. He is firmly back on his benchmark, but with just 6 laps to go, he needs to get past Deadpool, needs to get past N-Spud post-haste if he's to have any chance of closing in on Mountain Goat. On pure pace, I don't think it's possible, but if Deadpool can string together the laps, oh, he's again just pushing it too hard, but he's going to need to get past Spud to have any chance of a win. I think he may have just given himself a half-second penalty, though. No, very lucky to get away with that. He's just falling out of momentum. Gabans is now closer to him. And Gabans, if he gets a good run off this last corner, may be able to use the slipstream to his advantage. N-Spud there was clearly loose out of the last corner because he ended up right against the pit wall. Deadpool holds on to 3rd place despite Gabans being there with him. Brandosa watching from 5th place, now in 6th ahead of Shiami, number 18 down in 8th, Dan 08 in 9th, and Robosport running in 10th place at the moment, taking advantage of some of the errors happening for the other drivers and just keeping it on the straight and narrow himself. It's a proven formula. It's working again. The leader of this race in the 17 car is Mountain Goat. He has been running superbly well this weekend or today to this point. 2nd, 1st, and now leading again in the 3rd race of the day. 4.7 seconds is a fairly comfortable buffer over N-Spud. Well, Deadpool running there in P3, but certainly he's struggling just a little bit to find the optimum today. Rather, in the 2nd and 3rd races, once you make an error, it's very difficult to find that same confidence you had before. And unfortunately, the mistakes are happening now for Deadpool, and he's not building his rhythm back. It's so difficult to do, especially in cars like this, on a circuit like this. While 3rd place is a great result nonetheless, even though he's had the pace to win the 3 races today. Got to be careful there. Left-hander. But I think that's where he makes a lot of his time when he gets it right. Hence he keeps trying. .6 seconds the advantage for Mountain Goat to this man, N-Spud. Spud again, 2nd place would be a great result for him and his championship, especially given championship leader It's Racing is down in 11th place. The other It's Racing Esports Honda has been in the wars. I think both the 2nd and 3rd races are going to be subject of a lot of work for the stewards in the coming days. Lots of damage, lots of incidents. We saw plenty of contact, and some of it happened off circuit as well, so off camera as well. So we're going to have to see how things unfold over the course of the next several days in the stewards' room. For now, I think we can say safely that Mountain Goat star of the day. Smelling of roses. Shane Racing Team will be delighted with their new signing. GTR is running nicely as well. Clearly has that car set up as he likes it. Spud, meanwhile, running in P2. He's got a little bit of pressure from behind, as we can see. Once again, closing in on Spud. At this point, it is really just a salvage job for second place. The win, I think, is well out of question. Deadpool, but he's still right here in the front row seat to try and catch Spud. Fourth place under pressure as well. Brandosa has been right there with Gabans for much of the 3 races, I think. They often seem to find themselves together on circuit. Deadpool, though, under significant pressuring significantly, I should say, and it does look like it's working. Spud, wheel on the dirt, 2 corners in a row. Championship leader made of stern stuff, however. It's going to take a good move, an opportunistic move from Deadpool to find a way through. Side by side. And that was it. Deadpool through into second place, but has he overcooked it? It looks as though he has. Spud goes around the outside. Is he going to have the inside line into Rainy Curve? No, he does not. But Spud there just not hooking it together as they got onto the Rayhouse Straight. And Deadpool got a great run. Got second place back, but there goes Spud once again. Great racing between the two of them. They're side by side as the white flag waves, the final lap of the race. And Poole there, Deadpool just pulling away in a straight line. I think that might be the benefits of that 4-speed gearbox that he seems to be running in the car. Deadpool there, quite easy, just drove away. He's of course been pegging back at the Honda MSX in recent weeks. Maybe still needs a little bit less power, because that was a clear advantage in a straight line. Deadpool, though, should have second place signed, sealed and delivered. Meanwhile, this man, ironically, wearing the Domino's Swansea colours, is going to take a race win. He's going to deliver for the Domino's backed Shaden Racing Team. He crosses the line and takes the win here in the second race in a row at Laguna Seca. Deadpool crosses the line, second place once more. Still a good weekend for Deadpool, a very championship positive weekend for Deadpool. He has a lot to be happy about there, even if he didn't fully capitalise on his performance. Spud had damage there at the very end. I don't know what happened there between the two of them. Was there contact at the very end between Deadpool and Spud? We'll have to see. I'm sure it will all come out in the wash in the steward's room over the next few days, but Deadpool and Spud, clearly something happened there, because Spud ended up with damage. Gabans held on to 4th ahead of Brandosa. Papa AT got 6th place ahead of Xiami. Xiami in 7th. Punts in 8th. Dan 08 claiming 9th, and RoboSport rounding out the top 10 ahead of its racing. RoboSport, of course, the former safety car driver, current TS2 driver, and well into the top 10 in the main series, being caught up late to replace Farrell. Great to see from RoboSport. Pretty sure he'll be happy with that. It's Racing claiming 11th ahead of Disappointed, who we saw drive off into the gravel just a couple of corners from home in the background of the shot where we were following Mountain Goat. Diswood taking 13th place, and Little Blacko 9 laps down eventually, so clearly he withdrew from the circuit for an extended period of time there. Deadpool, as we say, 2nd place, still will be very good for his championship, of course, because Mountain Goat in his first races in the series isn't really a factor in championship contention. Both Deadpool and Spud will be happy with today's performances, as will Brandosa, because It's Racing, of course, has had a bit of a mare here today, to say the very least of it. That has been our racing for today. Massive congratulations to Shaden Racing Team and Mountain Goat. Excellent stuff. Great to see a new driver coming into the series and finding his feet in such short order. So thank you everybody for watching. Congratulations to our winners, and we will see you all very soon for more action from Trackstars and our various series. But great stuff from everybody here today at the Elite Break and Mechanical Trackstars Touring Cars Series. Congratulations to Deadpool for the Race 1 win, and a massive congratulations to Mountain Goat for 2 wins on his Shaden Racing Team debut in that Nissan GTR. Tune in again soon. If you haven't already subscribed, do so, and we'll be back with more action on Gran Turismo Sport in very short order.